I'll never forget the moment the courtroom went silent. The big projector screen lit up behind me, glowing this sharp, unforgiving green. And the entire room realized that 3 houses plus their precious playground weren't sitting on HOA land at all. They were sitting on mine. My barn, the one they accused me of building illegally. Perfectly legal. Meanwhile, half their neighborhood was trespassing every single day without even knowing it. You could actually hear someone in the gallery whisper, "Oh my God." Cheryl's finished. Rewind a few months before the maps, before the lawsuits, before I knew what kind of war I was walking into. I'm Evan Carter. I inherited the last 5 acres of my family's land. Nothing fancy, just a stretch of quiet property outside Stone Ridge Meadows, a shiny HOA suburb with matching mailboxes, trimmed lawns, and people who call the police if your grass grows half an inch too high. My dream was simple: build a proper barn workshop. Big red siding, steel roofing, enough space to build furniture, metalwork, whatever came my way. My wife Molly handled all the permits because she's a wizard with paperwork. We had every sheet stamped and approved by the county. The day the framing went up, I felt proud. I felt settled. And then she appeared like a storm cloud in khakis. Cheryl Whitmore, the HOA president, marching across the grass with her purple polo tucked so tight it looked painful. Clipboard clutched like she was about to issue a federal indictment. "Construction stops now," she snapped, staring up at me while I was on a ladder tightening a roof truss. I nearly dropped the hammer. "On whose authority?" I asked. "Mine," she said, shoving a bright red stop work order at me. Not a county seal, not a signature, just HOA gibberish printed on cheap paper. It might as well have said "I said so" in Comic Sans. I laughed, and I shouldn't have, but I couldn't help it. "Ma'am, this is my land." Her jaw clenched. "This is designated HOA green space. You're trespassing." Behind me, Molly's phone was already recording, tucked into her pocket at just the right angle. She's subtle like that. We turned back to work. Cheryl stormed off with a promise that felt more like a threat. "This isn't over. I wish I'd taken her seriously. I really do." A few days went by, quiet, too quiet. Then came the delivery day. All my custom siding and metal roofing were scheduled to arrive around 8. At 8:15, the driver called. "Hey man, I'm here, but something's blocking your driveway. Looks deliberate." I walked down the gravel road and almost choked on my anger. A tow truck, a massive greasy one, was parked sideways across my entrance like a barricade. And beside it, arms crossed, wearing that same smug polo, Cheryl. "Such a shame," she said. "This poor truck broke down. Nothing we can do. HOA safety protocols." The tow truck guy refused to meet my eye. Paid off. Obviously. The delivery driver said he could wait 15 minutes before charging me return fees. If he left, I'd lose over $1,000. I said to Cheryl, "Move the truck." She smiled like a cartoon villain. "Can't. It's out of my hands." Molly walked up beside me with her phone held high, recording every word. "Cheryl," she said calmly, "we have you on video ordering this blockade. This is tortious interference with a business contract." The tow truck driver panicked. "Lady, I'm not losing my license for this." He pulled away immediately, leaving Cheryl sputtering. My delivery got through, but the delay cost us time, money, and 1 entire week of rescheduling. That night, Molly and I sat at the kitchen table looking at numbers that were beginning to hurt. "She's willing to cost us real money," Molly said. "This isn't harassment anymore. This is sabotage." I didn't sleep much. That was the first time I felt something tighten in my chest. Fear, frustration, anger, all mixing together. We installed cameras and motion sensors, high-end stuff. For a week, nothing. And then 2:00 a.m. My phone buzzed. Molly's buzzed. We pulled up the feed and froze. 2 grown men in construction vests were standing at my gate with bolt cutters. Not teenagers messing around, professional or trying to be. I almost ran out there swinging a flashlight like a medieval club, but Molly grabbed my arm. "Wait," she whispered and clicked the screen. "Activate Zone 1 sprinklers." The high-pressure sprinklers exploded to life, blasting those guys like fire hoses. They screamed, slipped, fell into the mud, scrambled, ran, dropped their bolt cutters, and disappeared into the night, soaked and defeated. Molly leaned back, grinning. Worth every penny. The sheriff came the next morning. He laughed a little at the sprinkler part, but said there wasn't much he could do without IDs. But we knew, of course we knew who sent them. Then came the storm. A huge oak branch crashed down and flattened 50 feet of the old fence between my land and Stone Ridge Meadows. Before I could even grab fence posts to patch it up, Cheryl sent an email to the entire neighborhood. A natural access point has opened between the common area and adjacent land. Residents are now encouraged to enjoy expanded walking space. Translation: everyone go hang out on Evan's land. It's yours now. Within an hour, people were walking dogs through my property like it was a park. A woman with a poodle waved her phone at me. The HOA said we can. I posted no trespassing signs. They walked right past them. Then came the worst one, Bradley Knox. Big guy, loud voice, HOA loyalist. He unleashed his dogs on my grass, ignored me when I told him to stop, then got in my face yelling about community rules. And then he shoved me, hard. My ribs hurt for days. But Molly was recording from the porch. Her voice cut through everything. Got that on video. Calling the sheriff. Bradley turned white as chalk. He ran off so fast he forgot one of his dogs for a second. That shove. That was my breaking point. I sat on the edge of my bed that night staring at the floor, wondering if I'd misread everything. Maybe the fence was wrong. Maybe the maps were old. Maybe this really was shared land. Maybe fighting this was stupid. Maybe I should just stop, eat the losses, and let the world think I was the bad guy. For the first time, I felt genuinely defeated, like the land I thought belonged to me was slipping out from under my feet. But Molly, God bless her, looked at me and said, "Evan, you're not crazy. You're under attack, and we're going to prove it." So we hired a professional surveyor, top of the line, GPS drones, historical markers from the 1800s, a full survey. When the email came in, my palms were sweating. Molly opened it beside me, and there it was, the truth in thick black ink. The real boundary wasn't where the old fence stood. It was 30 feet deeper into HOA territory. The entire green space Cheryl was fighting over, ours, every blade of grass. We were cheering, laughing, celebrating. And then another email arrived. Anonymous. You're not crazy. Cheryl knows the boundary is wrong. She's known for years. Attached are meeting minutes. We opened the files. Inside a board meeting note from 2 years earlier, President Whitmore presented evidence of a boundary discrepancy. Motion to seal record and table indefinitely. They knew. They covered it up. Molly spent 3 hours building a drone video crystal clear overlays showing the true boundary slicing straight through their so-called common area. And then Cheryl sent a neighborhood-wide announcement calling for a special town hall meeting to vote on a $25,000 legal fund to sue Evan Carter. She brought the entire neighborhood together for her own public execution. We walked into the town hall like villains in a movie, everyone whispering, glaring, judging. Cheryl stood at the podium in a sleek blazer, giving the performance of her life, talking about community pride, rule breakers, sanctity of green space. She painted me as a reckless outsider tearing apart their neighborhood. Then she said, "In fairness, Mr. Carter may speak for 5 minutes." I stood up slowly and said I won't be speaking much today. My wife has a presentation. Murmurs everywhere. Molly connected her laptop. Slide 1, our county-approved building permit. Slide 2, Cheryl's trespass invitation email. Slide 3, Bradley shoving me. The room shifted. People whispered. Someone gasped. Cheryl snapped, irrelevant. "This meeting is about the boundary." "Oh, good," Molly said. "Let's talk about the boundary." Final slide, the official GPS survey. The bold green line showing 30 feet of HOA land actually belonged to us. The room erupted. People shouted, "Did you know about this? Why did you lie? Did you send those men?" Phones came out, everyone recording Cheryl. She slammed the gavel, screeching, "This meeting is over." But it was too late. Her credibility was dead. And then came the courtroom. Cheryl sat with 2 board members staring straight ahead like royalty. The judge was a no-nonsense guy. Perfect. Her lawyer ranted about tradition, HOA bylaws, developer maps, everything except actual legality. Then our lawyer took over. Calm, surgical. He showed the drone overlay. He toggled between county maps, HOA maps, and the new survey. He zoomed in. Silence. The real boundary cut not only through their green space, it went under a playground, through backyards, under a pool, and straight through the deck of 3 homes. The judge removed his glasses. "Ms. Whitmore," he said coldly, "you have brought a malicious, frivolous, and fraudulent case before this court." He hammered the gavel so loud it echoed. Lawsuit dismissed. HOA ordered to pay all my legal fees, all my damages, all my survey costs, and a permanent cease and desist order forbidding Cheryl or the HOA from ever contacting me again. I looked over at Cheryl. Her face broke anger, disbelief, and the slow, dawning horror of someone watching their empire collapse. The judge added, "Mr. Carter, you may demand removal of all structures encroaching onto your land." 3 homeowners turned pale instantly. But they weren't the enemy. Cheryl was. I allowed easements at fair prices. They thanked me with tears in their eyes. The fallout hit Stone Ridge Meadows like a bomb. Emergency vote. Board dissolved. HOA dismantled. Cheryl removed in disgrace. Last I heard, she sold her house and left town in the middle of the night. And just like that, the storm she started finally ended. Justice landed hard, clean, and final. Sometimes the loudest person in the room isn't right. They're just loud.